in yesterday, and my appraisal is I don't know if it's the way that the banks are working, but they're edging it right above the actual like contract price versus where we're looking at other things when where you're looking at appraisal is I don't know. Yeah, okay. Where if you're doing like a cash out refinance where you're trying to get the most bang out of the buck for the value of that home, right? But I don't know. It's the second property that I've had appraisals come in where it's like just right above the actual contract price. And is that like now the industry standard? And that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Piece of it could be, but the other piece is like the houses are being priced properly. Like there's a lot more technology now. I guess it's always been, but now I feel like it's like I can look at a house and know, like, hey, this house is probably like today, Seth, we walk by, I'm like, yeah, that's probably like 140, 150. Like I think people are just more informed of what they're listing and more people are paying attention
Hmm.
more than ever on the listing prices. Right? I guess you think about 5 years ago, people might not have been hip to Zillow or Redfin, but now, and before it was like, hey, I'm gonna sell this house. I'm just gonna listen to my realtor because my realtor probably knows. But now everybody's talking, hey, my neighbor just sold his house for this amount, and my neighbor just sold this for this. So they're all talking, and I think that plays a part too.
The speed of which information travels is
Yeah,
good and bad.
yeah. I mean, and for us as investors, it's kind of bad, I guess, depending because you want to get in at the bottom price, like the goal of this,
Be
and we're
right
going to
back.
talk about that today. And welcome everybody tuning in. Y'all getting in some of the behind the scenes of our Wednesday calls, actually. So I don't mind giving it to y'all. But the piece of us being here and learning fast is to get that knowledge, right? So as an investor, we're going to jump back in that. But as an investor, you make money on the buy, right? The big money is made on the buy. So you could buy it right. There's a lot more opportunity to figure out, hey, look, maybe we could hold this or hold on to this. Maybe we could, fix and flip this. That decision is heavily dependent on the buy. So Seth, if we went and we looked at that house today, could we, if we got the asking price that we wanted, could we hold it? 100%.
Yes.
100%. That would be an easy buy and hold. Easy one, right? Could we flip it? 100%. It's an easy flip too, right? The flipping is going to take a little bit more money, a little bit more time. But as an investor, going in with the proper buy gives you an advantage versus someone who's just paying MLS prices. So we're going to get to that here in a few. But welcome everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday call. We are live. Um, Good to see so many faces. Um, and Seth, you should be able to share your screen if you guys are new. Welcome. No matter where you may be listening from. Awesome, awesome. Cool. So I love the top secret too, Seth. Pretty dope. Um, this
That's
is
a
what real
great
estate
step.
experts don't want you to know, right? We're gonna share some of these secrets with you guys today. In a circle, we might have one more for you guys tomorrow, so stay tuned tomorrow too. Um,
Absolutely.
we'll let some people in. Boom. Okay, Seth, you are good to go. We are live.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, got a couple of new faces, so that's always good. It's good to see everybody. My name is Seth. I've been investing in real estate since 2019 or so, actively wholesale in a couple of different markets, but my main strategy is picking up small to medium multifamily projects and doing the buy and hold method here locally in Morgantown, West Virginia. But I started a real estate meetup called Mountaineer RIA here locally. That's where I met Mr. Ray Glimp here. And we got together and wanted to be able to give back to the community a little bit more than once a month. So we set up this call. We've been doing it for a little bit over a year now. Every single week on Tuesday, we get together and share a lot of information with you guys. And it's probably one of the best parts of my week. So I appreciate everybody showing up tonight.
Yeah, we love to see you guys each and every week. Ray Glimp, over 100 doors, over 10 million in real estate deals, over 10 million in real estate holdings, um, and several other awards, other recipient awards. And biggest caveat and my biggest joy is being here each and every Tuesday, helping educate, staying sharp. Iron sharpens iron, so it's great to be part of this group and continue to learn. Like I mentioned to you guys, every time we come here, every time we set this work up, Seth and I spend some time thinking deep about the content that we're going to provide to you each and every week, bringing you special guests each and every week. So it does take a lot of time and energy, and so we enjoy bringing this and being able to share some of our resources with you guys on this call.
Absolutely. Real quick, just make sure the attorneys are happy the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect official policy or position of any organization. Content provided is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as professional, legal, medical, or financial advice. Listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research and consult with appropriate professionals before making any decisions based on the information provided in this podcast. Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk.
Love it. So one of our favorite parts of the week, we love to hear from you guys, hear your achievements. I know Inner Circle, we feels like we get to talk to y'all all the time, but I want to hear from some newer people. Inner Circle, I want to hear from you guys too. Any goals you've accomplished, whether it be real estate or personal. I actually want to hear from you guys. If we could be kind of brief, but real estate or personal, I want to hear from you guys what goals you've accomplished. I'll share first. I actually have another project that I purchased it a couple months ago, and we're finally getting started on it. So I'm excited to share that with you guys, and I'll make sure to share some content and share some pictures as well. Anyone else want to share some information? Any of the goals that they've accomplished? Go ahead, Clarissa. I see you wave your hand.
Okay, so we had our first eviction this week, and the tenant moved out at the day and time that they said they were going to move out. And because of the condition of the unit, we're actually going to be able to get that one rented sooner than the top floor unit. So we're really excited about that because it's a 3-bedroom.
Congratulations. Did you know it was a 3-bedroom?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Did you know it was a 3-bedroom?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. I'll be honest with you guys. I'll share this with you guys too. I owned a house or a multi-unit. It's like a 3-unit building. And I thought it was a 3-bedroom upstairs the whole time. And I found out it was a 4-bedroom like 2 weeks ago. So, I can call it a value add or money loss, but it's still a win, I guess, in the long term. So congratulations to you, Clarissa. We actually helped you in the Inner Circle. We talked about the eviction process. So I'm happy that went well for you.
Yep.
Good. Ashley said she got her plumbing set up in her office. Good. I saw the office, Ashley. I actually just reposted it. It's coming along. And congratulations on securing that big of a space. That was a hell of a deal. She conned me out of a deal, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a good deal. Anyone else want to share any goals, accomplishments that they've had this week?
I'm going to share. I had 2 goals that so my team and we've met together on Friday last week for my business with RealVestor Partners and the wholesaling and different things that we do. And so we set 2 goals that I'm accountable for. So I want to share it with the group so that you guys can hold me accountable as well. My first goal is that we are going to go through, and my entire team is going to sign up for the REI Sales Academy. It's hosted by Jerry Green and his team, but it's all about real estate sales and real estate acquisitions. It's an awesome program. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's got a decent little price tag on it, but we always invest in ourselves and make ourselves great. So it's something for our entire team. I'm going to make sure that I go through it as well. So by the end of the quarter, all of my entire team will be at least 75% complete of all the online transactions or all the online trainings. And everyone will have attended at least 4 of the weekly meetings that he holds as well. So should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to learning it.
Love that, Seth. Always continue to invest in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the biggest and best investments you can ever make. I got a behind the scenes today to look at Seth's systems as well. Pretty cool stuff you guys are running over there. So happy to see it. All right. Without further ado, breaking news, some hot topics. We actually had a lot of topics. Oh, this was
Isaac.
We're kind of talking about how the storms, how they impact. If you guys know anybody affected in Milton, praises and condolences. But we're kind of talking about how the market is shifting and changing. Current events is something that we want to stay on top of too. So, Seth, go ahead. You can play this video. I might stop it once or twice in between. I want to Tom wants some points.
Welcome. Good to have you with us. Did these twin storms affect any of your projects? And you have lots of stuff going on down there. Any of your projects in long-lasting ways?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank God, no, we were not affected. And unfortunately, due to global warming, there is no escape from Mother Earth and the natural disaster that we see around the world. And thank God that the governor and the state officials are doing a great job. And the storm was not really the category 5 that everybody expected. But we still see a healthy demand. We still getting emails from people. Yesterday, I got an email from a potential buyer from Chicago looking to buy a condominium in Naples, Florida. And yesterday I visited our sales office in West Palm Beach for our Ritz-Carlton project. And Ritz-Carlton residents is enjoying a very, very healthy demand. So we still see a lot of people moving to Florida from other states, from New York, Chicago, California, and other states.
Let me probe you on that a little bit, because there are some signs in some of the data that some of that in-migration seems to be slowing for two basic reasons. One is concern over these large weather events, and two is the rising price to insure a home. Are you seeing that? It sounds like you're not seeing any slow up in migration or inquiries.
We don't see a slowdown. Exactly the opposite.
Can you pause that right now?
Drop.
And so I want y'all to remember two things. One, in every down market, for every negative thing that happens, there is always a positive to be seen. Okay. And then two, this guy makes a living off of selling real estate. Okay. And investing in real estate, specifically in Florida. So he has a vested interest to make sure that Florida seems as valuable as it is. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of see some of the opposite of people starting to catch on to what's happening in Florida consistently. And I think eventually that will start to scare people away from that market overall, especially investors overall. Because investing, you want 20-year, 30-year holds, right? You want those returns to be tremendous through that time period. Where if you're getting storms what was it? We just had one back-to-back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And fortunately, as he mentioned, this was only a category 2. Whereas a category 5, which we were expecting originally, even a category 4 would have meant a lot more damage. In a category 2, we saw, I don't know about you guys, I saw a lot of damage done to friends, family that we had out there. So I think that kind of is a leeway of what could happen 5 to 10 years from now, right? So I pay attention, not just in, okay, they had this little storm, but over the past 5 years, they've been having more intensity. They've been talking about pretty much the struggle of actually getting insurance and being insured and properly insured. I don't know if you guys hear, he mentioned the condos in Florida too. It is very difficult to get an older condo. And people are losing their condos because of raising rates, right? HOA fees of $40,000, $50,000, or $100,000 reassessment. So, Seth, anything you want to jump in with?
To me, I think that I understand where the guy's coming from. I agree that it's his business, so he needs to, especially in a scenario where he's on CNBC, to paint a positive picture. But the number one rule of real estate is location, location, location. And Florida has probably the longest coastline, if not California. But I think when you go all the way around, Florida might actually be longer than California. People want to live that close to the water, right? So when that happens, they kind of just take the good with the bad, and they know that storms are going to come, and they know they're going to have to pay insurance because of those storms, but that's where people want to go. Yeah.
And I think eventually what factors in is the insurance company stop insuring, right? And that is the caveat that we get to. Triple H, you want to ask something?
I was just going to say, you're starting to see it through more and more states. And it's not just Florida. It's the disaster-prone states, California, the Panhandle areas that are going to be bombarded with storms on a yearly basis. and insurance companies are now just realizing like they don't want to be they're not in the business to lose money and pay out, right?
Yeah.
So they're constantly just doing that, and they're making that executive decision to kind of pull out of those natural prone disaster areas, more so than we've seen in the past.
Yeah. And I posted an article today in our community that I think over the past 4 to 5 years, insurance rates are up over 40 to 52% year over year, right? So talk about inflation right there. Those rates have gone up tremendously. So that is something to be on a watchful eye, or continue to have a watchful eye as investors. Keith, you want to drop something as well?
Yeah, I had a question, just kind of
Yeah.
going in the middle of what both of you guys are saying. Isn't it relative to the exact city? Like the whole state of Florida is different when it comes to South Florida versus North Florida versus inland Florida versus the coastal element. So because one of the areas that I was actively looking at or am actively looking at is Orlando. And the reason being is because it's still in Florida, but it's not as negatively affected by the coastal activity such as hurricanes. So my question is, isn't it relative to the city, specifically the region, versus just
Yes.
the whole state?
Yes, 100%. And I hope I didn't inquire or make it sound like I was talking about the whole state of Florida. But there are certain, so what happens is when those coastlines get hit, people start to either move inland or they move as a whole, right? And so what he mentioned, one of the points he mentioned was, they're seeing migration from your New York City, from your Chicago, from your California area. So it is very specific to the exact area. And even the insurance as well is specific to that exact area. So great caveat.
He mentioned that he's based out of Naples, which is right on the Gulf Coast as well. So location.
Yep. You want to continue this, Seth? We got some time. We can.
Okay.
In interest rate, we see the sales centers are more busy, more people coming from other states, more brokers bringing clients from South America. Still, South Florida and Florida in general is enjoying a very, very strong momentum for the last 5-6 years. We see a lot of companies moving here and a lot of families moving down to Florida. As far as insurance costs, unfortunately, it's something that we deal with that for the last few years. And I talked to some of my friends and partners from other states, and they see increase in insurance costs as well. The last 12 months, we see things are getting stabilized, and we hope that things are going to get better and better. Definitely with the drop in interest rates, we think that this is going to be a good sign for real estate, and history shows that when rates are going down, real estate markets are doing very well.
Is there a shortage of available
if you wanna
housing in
change that,
Florida? In other words,
You can, we can go back in. We're gonna be
Isaac,
back to
welcome.
that.
Good to have you with us.
Oh, okay. No worries. If you can see the year over year, and I thought they bought up Louisiana. I saw where they bought that up.
Did
they had
these twin storms affect any of
Okay. No worries about it, Seth.
Isaac,
You can
welcome.
go back to the next slide. Let's go back to the next one.
Fail.
But kind of considering where people are continuing to invest, we brought the slide up last week and just want to bring it up to you guys again. Where investors are continuing to invest, seeing a year over year. One of the things that they brought out in that last slide was the appreciation year over year in certain areas. And we saw Florida had a 4% year over year appreciation, which is still strong appreciation. Louisiana had a 13%, which is amazing too. And that's one of those areas that are very hard to get insurance. And an area that most people don't talk about as far as investors, right? Those little sweet spots, those sweet markets that people don't talk about are great. So we just want you guys to be prepared, think outside the box. Again, we're giving you some of the secrets, some of the sweet juice and tea that we have as investors. Sometimes the sexiest markets, that New York, the California, the ones you hear about, the Florida, the Arizona, they have their downsides as well. So whenever you invest, be well informed. I'd rather everybody be well informed.
I'll also say when it comes to this, like Realtor.com putting out their top 10 markets for investors and stuff like that. By the time, if you go back 5 years, right, I guarantee you that Phoenix, Arizona was on this map.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you that there were places in Texas that were on this map,
Mhm.
right? Charlotte, North Carolina was on this map, right? When it hits this,
Nashville.
right, exactly. So when it gets here, it's almost too late, guys, right? The goal is, and that's where kind of tying into the content that we're talking about, the strategies and stuff that you use, is to find before they become dots on this screen, right? We need to find the areas that people don't know about yet.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. So let's share with you folks some of our secrets. Number one, the power of off-market deals. So we've told you many a times, network. But you got to be able to use your network. You got to be able to use your resources to find those off-market deals. However you do it, you got to be able to do it. So what is an off-market deal? Those are properties that aren't listed on the MLS, right? Because here's the truth. By the time they list it and they get to a realtor's job is to sell it at the highest price point for that consumer. If you can get it before it hits the MLS, you might have a chance to get it at a lower price point. Okay. So this could be done through networking, direct mail, wholesalers, social media, right? Part of networking could be being in rooms like this, right? Direct mail, that could be mailing out flyers. I know a lot of people. I have someone I'm associate with. Seth, how many direct mailers do you guys send a month?
It's $4,000, so it's probably there's 60 cents a piece, whatever that equals out to be. They're like 60, 62 cents a piece.
So almost about 5,000, 6,000 direct mailers a month.
Somewhere
right?
around that. Yeah.
I have someone who's writing handwritten notes to people, and she sends out about 100 a week. Handwritten, takes her time, finds them, sends out 100 letters. Working with wholesalers, that's part of your network too. Finding wholesalers. You might be finding them wherever, Facebook, networking events. I don't know. I found wholesalers everywhere. Facebook was a great place, honestly. Craigslist is a great place, honestly. And then social media, putting out there that you are an active investor, that you are looking to buy deals, right? If you guys watch my social media today, I'll put it out there. Hey, look, if you're looking to sell, DM me the word sell. Like, I want to buy houses right now.
Yep.
Right? So you have to use that to your advantage. I actually said, I saw your ad. Yeah. So like we are actively buying right now. And if you want to get those off-market deals, you have to put it out there. They're not going to come to you. They might, right? If you got the network, but that's part of it. You got a network for it. So actually putting it out there, that's very important. Why it matters? We all know the best deals never reach the market, right? I've done so many deals. A lot of deals have been done with handshakes. I don't know if I have the paper. I think I threw it away. I just closed on a $600,000 deal that was on the market for one day, right? I had it pretty much under contract before it even hit market, right? It hit market because the realtor needed their commission. That was it. So a lot of those
need that kind of a deal.
deals.
I've been waiting for that thing to fall off the sky, man.
It's not going to fall out the sky. It was done through network. So you got to have that active network. You avoid all the competition. That was a good deal that could have went to 650, 670, 680, and I could have paid more for it, right? But instead, I was able to negotiate better terms by not letting it hit the market. So that's one of the keys. You want to make sure that and some of this could even be not just wholesalers, but here's a high-level tip, guys. Work with brokers, right? We always say work with real estate agents because they might have pocket listings, but work with brokers. Go one step above, right? Usually before a realtor lists it, it's going to go through the hands of the broker. So if you work directly with a broker, you have a higher chance of getting that deal before it even hits the market. It could come directly to you. Usually they'll want their commission, just like a wholesaler will want their commission, but it can come directly to you. Competition is key. So one of those things you want to avoid is that competition, whether it be auctions, right? Because there's a lot of competition at those auctions. And it's harder to negotiate better terms.
Yeah.
Right. You don't
The
have
terms are set.
Yeah.
The terms are set. I know so many investors that have made a fortune, right? And built a portfolio out of going to tax sales and going to tax auctions and things like that. But the problem is you've got 17 other people bidding on the same house, right? That
Mhm.
hardly ever happens in my business when I'm doing off-market deals in the wholesaling realm and stuff like that. I hardly ever have somebody competing for the house that I'm buying.
Yeah. So from hearing this, if you guys want to take steps, my next step would be, if I were you, find a local wholesaler in your area. Not a, find local wholesalers, multiple, right? Multiple. Um, Work with real estate agents, multiple. A lot of people get attracted to just one agent. Oh, this is my guy. This is my guy. They're not your guy, right? They're your guy because they're getting commission. So they'll feel like your guy, but that's not your guy. You want 5, 10, 15, 20. Hey, look, I'm an investor, want to buy in your market. Property owners is another one. Go direct to the property owner. All right. If they're not looking to sell that, if that house doesn't make sense, see what else they have. They might have 4 or 5 houses. You might be able to get all 4 that might not be listed, and that one that's listed might not be a good deal anyway. All right. So
That's a nugget for people. If you're going and you're going direct to seller, you're doing text message, cold calling, whatever it happens to be, right? I actually have a virtual assistant still, but she's not doing the calls that she used to. It used to be that we were doing anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000 phone calls a week. And in that, obviously, we're interacting with a lot of different people throughout the time. And I can tell you that 70 to 80% of the conversions from making a phone call to yes, I have a property to sale didn't come from asking, hey, do you want to sell 123 Main Street? Because that's the one that we're calling about. They say no. And then my caller follows up with, hey, no problem. Sounds like that one's working out great for you. Do you have any problems or any properties that are a problem? That question right there, I have bought numerous houses by just calling about something, getting in touch with somebody, and then asking, do you have a property that's causing you a problem?
And here's the other power too. Making sure that you're financially ready, whether that be you have the lender or you have the cash access to capital, because the last thing you want to do is build these relationships, make this network happen, find a deal, and then you can't fund it. You got to have that part too. All right. So make sure you build that as part of your relationship as well.
Yeah.
Next one, Seth. You guys hear me say this all the time. It's about the numbers, no emotion. Got to be a sniper. I know we got Susan on. No emotion, Susan. All right. You hear me? No emotion. It's a numbers game, no passion projects, numbers only. Right. Once you got the numbers and the money's flowing in, that's when you pick up the passion. But for your first investment properties, there is no room for passion. There has to be a numbers game. Cold data, cold hard data, things like cash flow. What will this cash flow me? What will my money work? My return on investment, my cash on cash return. You know, knowing your after repair value. There are times that you might see something and you might be like, maybe this could be worth this. No, you need the actual data, right? It has to be hardback data when you are running these numbers. You have to minimize every part of emotion that you can take out of it. And then when you're running these numbers, I'll tell you, when we run numbers, today, Seth and I ran some numbers, I ran them over, right? The first number I spit out, Seth, was what? 65,000 renovation, 65, 70,000. We might be in for 40. We might be able to get it done for 40, right? But I budgeted for 65, right? That gives me the cushion. Best case scenario, boom, we win. Worst case scenario, we break even at where we expect it to be anyway, right? So you got to run your numbers, run them tight. I've seen it so many times where people let their emotions take the best of them on decision, right? Get carried away, or this is what I wanted, and this, and I get it. There is a passion behind it. There's a reason. It might be your why. But I've seen a lot of real estate investors go down because of that passion project. I've seen them lose it all because of that passion project.
It's very common to find. I was on a call today with my mastermind on an accountability call, and there was a guy there, and was talking about how he took on a couple of flips because he didn't have enough time allotted in his business. He felt like he wasn't doing enough, right? People that build up teams and have teams of contractors and things like that don't want to lose them. So they feel like they need to buy something to get them to keep working. Ray's a perfect example, right? He's actively looking for properties. Man, I got to pick up another one, stuff like that. But one of the best things about working with Ray is that when we run numbers, it's number based, and that's it. There is no decision. I got to buy a house, so let's stretch on this. That's not the situation. The number works or it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And then as you build your team and as you build up your processes and things like that, then hey, maybe you can take on 3 projects at once. Because I tell you what, when you do find them, you find them in bunches. Real estate's hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait.
You know, when we talk about numbers based too, I want to share with you guys this. Today we looked at a property. My number was half the price they were asking. That's what I put an offer in, half, right? Because that is what made sense to us for our numbers, not what you have it listed at. I could make it work for what you have it listed at, but that's not where I want to buy. I want to buy for what I need it to work for, right? So that's where we go with no emotion. Like, hey, look, yeah, we could make this work. Nope, this is where I need to be at. This is the best case scenario, right? Now we know we got some room in there, right? But this is where our underlying thought is. Susan, you want to share something? Come on.
I don't know if you can see me. You know.
Yep.
So what I wanted to say was, I'm not. How do I say this? I've taken the emotion out. I don't care about the property. I was going to survey some of the land out and keep it because I made a promise to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, when I had time to calm down, I realized that was stupid. It would be just more money. Like, what is it? Good money after bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much to the place where I want to sell both of my houses, the one in Massachusetts and the one in Yonkers, and take that money and reinvest in a red state where I don't have to worry about I want landlord friendly states. And I think, yeah, that would be the right. That would be the that's how I've taken the emotion out, and I've made the decision, and that's how I'm choosing to move forward.
And I love that working with you in the inner circle every week, we starting to see the growth. So I love to hear that from you. And I want to stay on subject. Frederico put assumptions are inevitable when starting a project, but a critical practice is to also clear all assumptions with actual data. Decisions as the project progresses. That is very important too. As we looked at that project today, we saw some things that, brought our numbers down. We saw a propane tank. I've never bought a property with a propane tank, right? I don't know how much it's going to cost, but we got to make sure we get the data to back it so that way our price is reflected. So those are the things that we are thinking about as investors. And one of the things that Seth put on there is the 70% rule. Seth, you want to explain that to them and kind of break it down for anybody to understand?
Yeah, so the 70% rule formula is kind of a general rule of thumb. And the 70% is just that kind of cooks in all your closing costs and your holding costs and your profit when you're factoring out what you need to buy a property for. And basically, it's a way to determine how much you can offer on a property. So if you run your numbers and you find an accurate ARV, you run accurate comps, you're looking at a 3-bedroom, 1-bath brick rancher, and you look at other 3-bedroom, 1-bath brick ranchers in the same area that were sold in the last 6 months that are in a similar condition to what you're going to fix up. Like, get your comps as close as humanly possible to what the end result's going to be. Find that ARV. If it's $200,000, you take that 200, multiply it times 70% and come up with $140,000 if I'm doing quick math, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say that it's going to take you
$40,000
to repair that property to get it up to that $200,000 standard. You take this 140 minus the 40 in repairs, and your offer price is now $100,000. That 70%, that 30%, that's 60 grand that you're taking off. That's about 8% in closing costs when you go to sell, realtor commissions, closing costs, and everything like that. That has some holding costs that are factored in there, things like hard money, taxes, insurance, utilities, lawn care, just the different holding costs and things like that. And it puts it into your profit as well. Typically on that, you're making anywhere between 12 to 18% profit with those numbers. Some areas, investors use 60%. Some areas, there are hedge funds that are out there that buy 85 cents on the dollar. And that's just when they say I buy 85 cents on the dollar, they're doing the exact same formula. They're just using 85% instead of 70. 70 is the rule of thumb. And for most areas around the country, it's pretty accurate.
And then right now in today's market, we're seeing 65, even 60s, right? To make the numbers work. So
yeah, I've been running my numbers here in West Virginia as a whole, even in Morgantown, where it's pretty hot and it's not, anything. I'm still running them at 65%.
Yeah. So a lot of little nuggets in here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Seth, next slide. All right. Leverage. So we talk about leverage, not just the debt part of leverage, right? But leverage of everything. Money, time, expertise, leveraging it all, right? So it doesn't mean just borrow money, it means leveraging relationships. So who do you know? Who do you know that has a connection? Who do you know that's trying to sell something? Who do you know that has the knowledge? Who do you know that has the systems to set in place? How can I leverage that? Who can connect me to make more money, to make better use of my time? How can I get ahead, right? So we don't just leverage other people's money, but also we partner with experts, right? So it might be contractors, property managers, your mentors. All these people will help you save time, scale faster, and reduce a lot of your personal workload. I know so many people that talk to me and say, Ray, I got so much going on. I got so much going on. Joy got so much going on, right? Who can you delegate to do other things for you that continue making you more money to help you buy back your time? That is the game. It is leverage. Hey, you're good at this. You do this piece. I'll do this piece. And then we can both combine and make more money, right? And, I'll tell you guys, so far I've done, I think I'll be at like $1 million in real estate deals. I haven't done any of the paperwork, right? I've met with a couple of people. I'm very good at networking. I met with some people. I bought the broker along with me. I said, hey, look, I don't want to write purchase agreements and any of this stuff. I know how to do it, but I'm not interested in doing it your way, right? But what I'll do is I'll give you some of my commission. You go do the paperwork. He's totally happy with that, right? So my goal and my thing is, hey, I'll do the networking for you. I have a bunch of people that want to sell houses and list them and get them. I don't even want to be shown. I don't want you to show my face. You can leverage my face if you need to, but I don't want you to show my face. I just want to help you make the connection and make a couple dollars off it, right? He's totally happy with that because now he gets another deal, makes him great, makes him look great, right? So how can you or who can you leverage to help you get to the next level? So when you leave here today, you're leveraging Seth and I's time. The Tuesday call is free. Y'all just leverage the heck out of us for an hour. I just want y'all to know that, right? But how can we help you get to the next level, right? Who can we bring on? And this is what I want y'all to talk about too. If you got it in the chat, who can we bring on to make you better? Hey, Ray, I'd love to see XYZ, right? Can you get them on? Usually I know a lot of people in the social media world, in the real estate world. Ray, can you get so-and-so on? Let me leverage Ray's ability to network to get this person on, right? Let me leverage this channel to get this person on. That's the game, guys. So who can you leverage? Who can you bring on, right? And it could be, whether it be like as simple as a virtual assistant. You got Airbnbs. Triple H mentioned, what was that company? Evolve. Ashley mentioned the company Evolve. Hey, this might, Pete and Maryland, they're private money lenders. They might have their company. Hey, I got a deal. Can I leverage them and their relationship? That's what I want you guys to start thinking about, is who or what can I leverage time-wise or financially to get me to the next level, connection-wise, to get you to the next level, Start small, financial leverage, of course, loans, investors, partnerships. Partnerships are a great way to leverage, right? In a partnership, hey, this is what you bring, this is what I bring. Boom, let's meet some new people. Pete and Maryland, I will say you guys are great networkers. You leverage your network for sure. Build a reliable team of experts, right? When you leverage with somebody, they got to be an expert with what you're leveraging, right? You can't go to somebody who says, hey, I'll lend money, but they don't have the money. You got to have the money. You got to be an expert, right? Hey, I want to teach you this, but they don't have the knowledge. So you got to be an expert. So make sure that you do go to a team of experts. And anything that you're lacking of, use them as your strength, right? That is the benefit. This is what they can bring to me. Now, Seth put down a powerful formula. And at first he showed it to me. I'm like, what the heck is this? Right? Like, I don't know I know X plus Z, but what's OPA? Seth, you want to jump in, let everybody know what that formula is?
Yep. So I reached out to, it's a guy by the name of Chuck Glover. He actually makes shirts and stuff like this with this on here. He does some stuff. He's a private money lender out of Richmond, Virginia. He is amazing. He shows up to networking events with stickers to stick on everybody that says, I showed up, I won today. The dude's just awesome, all about positive energy all the time. He came up with this formula and it's awesome. It's other people's money plus other people's resources plus other people's knowledge obtained. And knowledge obtained is from their time and from their talents, the TI and the TA. Their time plus their talents equals their knowledge obtained. So other people's money plus other people's resources plus other people's knowledge obtained minus excuses equals massive action.
I love
massive achievement. Sorry.
I need to put that on my office desk somewhere, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's strong and it's true, right? Leverage other people. Leverage. When I started in real estate, I knew how to sell. I had a sales background and I was running a home improvement business. I understood construction. When it came to money and it came to financing deals and it came to any of those things, I knew absolutely nothing. Do you know what I did? I found my business partner now, who was my mentor then, and I said, I can do this. I just don't know how. He said, go find a deal and we'll figure it out. We flipped a house together. Right? I leveraged my skills in sales and my skills in construction and put his use of his time, his knowledge of money and all that stuff to work. And here it is.
Yeah. The best partnerships come from people who have a strength and a weakness, right? And they recognize that they have both.
Yeah.
That's the real strength. Knowing that, hey, look, this is my weakness. I'm not really good at this, but hey, you are. Let's team up and let's do something together. But man, this is high value. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this too. If you did, let us know. Put it in the chat. If I were you guys, these are the steps that I'm taking, right, from what we got today, right? Networking. If you guys don't know everybody in here, get to know everybody in here. If you don't know who I am, get to know me. Send me a DM. If you don't know who Seth is, get to know him. If you don't know everybody in here, we should all know each other. Put your Instagram in the chat. Put your Facebook, your LinkedIn, put it in the chat so everybody can network, right? We're great resources. If you're in a school community, make sure that you're networking with us in a school community. If you got questions, drop it in there.
Another little secret that I'll drop for everybody. If you're looking to find in your local area to buy properties and stuff like that, you're looking to find deals. When you talk about networking, you said about finding wholesalers and things like that. The number one easiest way to do it, go to Facebook, go into the search bar, type in your city, let's say Dallas, Texas, right? Type in Dallas Real Estate Investing Group and look at all the groups that pop up. Just go in, join groups. You will find wholesalers posting deals consistently. Just find every single person that drops an email in one of the posts, find any wholesaler that's posting a deal. Those are people that you want to network. If you don't want to go out and actually go to networking events, you'll find postings like the Mountaineeria that we got a networking event next week. You'll find events like that to go meet people in person, but you can reach right out through an email, through a DM. Hey, I'm looking to buy in an area and I see you're active there. I have bought deals just by doing that alone.
One of the guys we had at the networking group was what? I would say probably top 3 investors in in our area.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting him to come. I had a great time just picking his brain.
Yep.
All right. So you never know who you can find networking, whether it doesn't matter where you be. I'll tell you guys a story. And it said, you know, not going out to lunch or going out to dinner to try to save money is actually going to cost you money, because you never know who you will meet at those events, who you might meet at breakfast. Spend an extra $5 or $10, go get eggs or go get a coffee, sit there and network, right? Go with the purpose of, I'm not just hungry, I'm going to network, right? Consider it a business investment. So whenever I'm like, man, I should save a couple bucks, I'll make breakfast with the kids. Nah, you know what? Let me go out and let me go find some network, right? And I just came from vacation. I was in Cancun. I did a ton of networking while I was there, right? I met a lot of people. And so I think that is crucial to building your success, is finding that network. Number 2, numbers. No emotion, numbers. You find a deal, make sure you know it's a deal. Make sure the numbers make sense. Make sure the financing makes sense. Make sure you know your ins and outs. How you're going to enter the deal, how you're going to exit it. Know that from the beginning.
Yep.
Right.
And if you're not sure, guys, you've got both me and Ray.
Yeah.
Like, you've got other people in this group that understand it as well. Peter and Marilyn are private money lenders, right? They absolutely know how to look at deals and tell you whether or not it's going to be profitable or not. Use the resources in this group. Run your numbers.
Yeah. And then identify key experts. So call them experts, call them your network. I like to call them partners, because if you're better at something than me, I want you to be my partner. Right. I have a willingness to learn, but only so far. You can only learn so much in a short time in the world that we are given, ladies and gentlemen. Right. So learn a skill and then master something, and then you become an expert in it. Right. But master that thing first. Right. Triple H, you're doing what is it? Sober living houses right now. Right. Master that. You spend a year on it, you're gonna know more than me. I guarantee. You spend 60 days, 90 days of just honing that skill, you're gonna learn more than me. You will be a master in my eyes to that. So when it comes to it, I'm gonna come to you and ask you for advice, because I'm gonna say, hey, tell me about this. Tell me about that deal. That is, you want to leverage experts because they're spending time to do it. All right. So
that's the blessing and the curse of real estate. Guys, there is 500 ways to make money in real estate. You will not learn them all.
I'm going to be an expert when it comes to the state certification process, because I'm doing it all in-house and writing the policies and procedures for every one of my properties for it. Yeah.
And then it becomes, on the flip side, hey, how do we partner and make this thing into a business? Boom. Yeah. Right. And so that is the value. And so, I've noticed, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm in rooms like this, is when I make the most money. I make a lot of money from what I do, but when I get in rooms like this, find someone to make a deal with, or I find somebody like, hey, we could do this, or we can do this together, right? And those become successful businesses. So I love being in rooms like this, and network is key. Leverage your network, leverage your business, whether it be contracts, contractors, mentors, whoever. Make sure, and contracts are the best idea of like, hey, this is leverage. Like, I could swing a hammer. The other day, it's probably about a year ago now, I was up on a roof and I was like, man, Ray, why are you up here? Like, it makes no sense for you to be up here at all, trying to save a couple dollars. Just pay the money and get it done, right? Leverage that, because you could be spending time finding another deal, but instead you're on here. All right. And of course, join the inner circle if you haven't. Leverage our knowledge. We love to see you guys in there. I think most of you guys are in there. So if you're not, definitely hop in. I think it's a high value. The Wednesday calls have been great. We got a lot from Wednesday calls, seeing everybody's growth. Everybody I met here, even over like the past 6 months, has grown, right? Yep. Like tremendously. And I'm happy to see the continued growth. And a lot of people that we have that aren't here, I think they've just grown and continue to grow. Now they too freaking busy, right? And that is, to me, that's a great feeling. But then it's also the feeling of they not leveraging their time right.
Yep.
Right? There's no such thing as too busy. Okay.
Also, if anybody's looking for anything, anybody's interested in investing in Petersburg, Virginia, my team has 2 deals for sale in Petersburg. If any of you guys run across any deals, the Inner Circle of the School Community is a great way to post deals and things like that. I'm going to post both of those deals as soon as the website's up on the second one. I'm gonna post both of those deals in the school community. But if anybody's looking in that area and will be interested in it, definitely reach out to me. And
Here's the other thing.
I'd love for more people to bring deals to this group. That's how we all make money.
If you're looking for a deal in a certain area, post it in the community too. I'm part of a lot of groups. I'm part of groups in Florida. I'm part of groups in Texas. I'm part of groups in California, part of groups in Arizona. Post it. I'm in a group in Louisiana. Post it. Like if you want a deal somewhere, let us know. I will connect you with the people that you need to know.
Lucia and I have been working together the last couple of weeks and talking about it. And she's getting into the Cleveland market, Cleveland, Ohio. I made a connection with her with just people that I knew in my network and stuff like that. I connected 3 high-level investors in the Cleveland market with her directly. Right. So where you guys are actively looking to invest and stuff like that's important. Leverage our network. It's one of the keys here. Leverage people in your business. Leverage it. Petersburg, Colonial Heights. Yes, Triple H.
Nice.
I got two of them. But
There you go. Boom, just like that. All right, Seth, you want to wrap us up? Send us off with a quote if you can.
absolutely. Real quick before we hit that. If anybody's not a part of it, that's the inner circle. You can do that. Toby wasn't here. I don't know if he's in here anymore. We can drop a link in there as well, or you can just shoot Ray or myself a DM. This is the Facebook group. I've laid it out for the rest of the year what our potential topics are going to be for every single week. I know we've got a couple of special guests coming on, so we'll move that schedule around. But you can go and check out our Facebook group to see what's coming up. Next week, we're going to talk about real estate scams, how to stop or how to spot them, how to know what you're looking at, smell it when it gets fishy, right?
Yeah, and to the people in the inner circle as well, we were supposed to bring on a special guest from PropertyCast.io. They had something with their mathematical system was wrong. They brought in an actuary. So he's supposed to be on tonight, but he couldn't make it. So they're redoing their system. He said it should be ready by Thursday or Friday. So what I told him, I said, you know what? I want to bring it to the inner circle first, right? I want to introduce it to you guys in the inner circle first. You guys get to see the software. And then from there, we can drop it on the Tuesday call and then share it out. So, Toby, if you can put the link in the chat too for the inner circle, and Seth, go ahead, send us off with a quote.
Absolutely, believing you can, and you're halfway there. Teddy Roosevelt. Very good. It's all about mindset, guys. That is the secret to success in real estate. It's all about mindset.
Yeah. Great call, everybody. I hope everybody has a great evening. Inner Circle. I'll see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.